Hi everyone, it's me again, Dr. Whimsy, your naturopathic doctor who hopefully answers every question you may have about naturopathic medicine. And today I'm talking about 10 simple rules for healthy digestion. I think that having problems with our digestion is probably one of the main reasons that people come to see naturopathic doctors. The truth of the matter is that digestive upset is a common complaint that Americans have, and hopefully some of these simple tips that I'm going to talk about right now will help you better digest your food so that you're having less symptoms. Some of the symptoms I see in my office can be anything from gas and bloating to heartburn, trouble digesting the food, constipation, diarrhea, that sort of thing. So here are 10 simple tips, and hopefully they can help you if you have any of those health challenges. So let's begin. Tip number 1. Before you begin to eat your meal, I always recommend people take a moment to pause and meditate on the meal that they're about to start. If you're a religious person, you might want to say a prayer. If you're not so religiously inclined, you might want to just take a moment to smell the food and prepare the body for the fact that you're going to begin eating your meal. Before we even start to eat, that is the time when we are preparing to eat food. That's called the cephalic phase. In plainer words, just smelling food or thinking about food is part of the phase, is part of the process of digestion. And that first phase is called the cephalic phase. It is the point when our body begins to maybe produce more saliva. An example would be Pavlov's dogs. The bell would ring, and that would signal for those dogs that food was going to be served, and so the dogs would think about the food, and before they had even begun eating, the early stages of digesting food had started by producing that saliva, which of course has enzymes in it. Enzymes are products that our body produces that help us break down and digest that food. So that first phase is called cephalic. So when we have digestive upset, gas, bloating, upset stomach, it can be that sometimes some part of the digestive process has been interrupted. A lot of the time, that's the cephalic phase of digestion that's either been blunted or hasn't happened. Now, why does that happen? Sometimes because we don't smell our food, we don't prepare our food, we simply go to a fast food store or fast food restaurant, and then we grab the food and we eat it, and that blunts the cephalic phase. So you really want to make sure you're getting that cephalic phase and you're setting the tone for how you're going to enjoy your meal. So that's why I always tell people to take a moment before they begin the meal to meditate or simply pause. Whether you're a religiously observant person or someone who simply wants to enjoy your meal, we always say start with peaceful thoughts and really take the time to prepare yourself for that meal you're about to eat. Number 2, we want you to enjoy your food. We want you to enjoy the meal and to be in a pleasant mood. If you're upset, if you're worried about things, if you're stressed out, that can actually blunt your digestion. Panic, anxiety actually can have an effect on whether or not we are producing adequate pancreatic enzymes, whether or not we are producing adequate amounts of hydrochloric acid, which is an acid produced by the stomach that helps us break down our food. So you really want to be in a good mood when you eat. Try not to think thoughts that are going to upset you or in any way upset your ability to digest your food. Number 2, we want you to chew your food. A lot of the times, one of the number one thing I've noticed for people who have a lot of digestive upset is they simply do not chew their food. So really take the time to slow down. If you're going to have a meal, Try not to have your meal be done in 5 or 10 minutes. Try and stretch it out 20, 30 minutes if you can, and really take your time and chew the food well before swallowing. All right. And number 4, again, make sure, this is a little bit an expansion on the idea of being in a good mood. But with 4, I would add to that check in with yourself to see if you have any stress or anxiety in your body. Sometimes just taking a moment to check in when we're scared or we're worried or we have any kind of a tension in our stomach, just breathing, taking that moment so that you can release some of that tension can actually also help digest your food. Sometimes I actually will put my hand on my stomach and just try and calm the area before I begin a meal, and just take a moment of prayer, and then I will smell the food to get that cephalic phase started so that I can really enjoy the meal. And then when I begin the meal, as I mentioned, I chew the food really, really well. The next thing I would say to you is to not wait until you are starving. People who wait between meals, they don't eat, and then they will have a meal only when they're starving, are more likely to eat quickly and also to eat too much. A better idea is that when you're hungry, you eat, but don't skip meals and don't wait until you're starving, because if you do that, you're at risk of overeating and eating too quickly, and then you can have stomach problems. The next thing I would recommend, I think this is we're at number 6, is to not eat until you're stuffed. Don't overeat. Try and only eat, they say, to about 80%. If you're eating slowly and chewing your food and taking your time and really enjoying that meal, you're going to know when it's time to stop. And I would add to that, don't overfill your plate. Take a small amount, take your time, chew your food, and then if you want a little more, you can take more. But don't overeat. Don't fill your plate up too much. And number 7, are we at number 7? Oh, that was number 8. No, that was number 7. Number 8, we want you to prepare your own food. Believe it or not, preparing your own food can improve your digestion. And the reason why is, again, because it's increasing, it's going to promote the cephalic phase of digestion. By preparing the food, smelling the food, seeing the food, you're actually telling your brain and telling your body that you're going to be having a meal. Again, when we have somebody else prepare the food for us, or if we rush into some place and grab something, we're actually blunting that cephalic phase. So learn to prepare your own food and enjoy the process of preparing your own food, smelling the food, seeing the food, maybe tasting the food, to get the digestion up and ready to go. And number 9, we want you to eat food that's unprocessed. Number 9 is about the quality of the food you actually eat. Make sure it's the best quality, locally grown if you can get it, unprocessed, minimally processed if you can, and really avoid prepackaged foods. I, of course, always want people to try and go organic, fresh fruits and vegetables, and make fresh fruits and vegetables, nuts, seeds, whole grains, beans, legumes, nutrient-dense foods be the base of your diet. Because you really want, since you're going to be eating less, the food that you eat should be nutrient-dense. And finally, we want to talk to people about gratitude. Being grateful to the person who's prepared the meal, being grateful for the meal, and to really enjoy the meal from a place of gratitude. And in the Jewish tradition, for example, there's something called an after bracha. And what that is after the meal, we actually have a special prayer we give. So we have a prayer before we eat, we enjoy our meal, and then we actually will say a prayer after the meal. Just a little bit about the Jewish tradition. But anybody who really wants to have an enjoyable meal, be able to digest that meal, not get an upset stomach. Maybe take a moment after you've completed the meal to just take a moment of gratitude. And if the person has prepared the meal, be sure and thank them for the meal that they have prepared. And sometimes we extend that gratitude to other things in our life, our teachers, our elders, our family, and it's just a wonderful time, a great conversation. You never want to be in a table where there's strife, where there's arguing. You really want to enjoy meals around people and in an environment where there is gratitude, good conversation, healthful food. Okay, that wraps it up for me. Those are the top 10 habits for healthy digestion. I hope these simple tips will help you enjoy your food, enjoy your meals, and hopefully be able to digest your food a little bit better. If all those tips don't work and you feel you do need a little bit more support, I often will recommend a digestive enzyme with the meal, and that can also help. If you enjoyed this video and if you would like to see more like them, be sure and share, like, subscribe, and tell me what you have done to help improve your digestive health. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.